You know that feeling, right? The one where your phone buzzes in your pocket, and before you even think, your hand reaches for it. It's late afternoon, sunlight slanting through your apartment window, and you've got maybe 10 minutes before the next meeting, the next errand, the next everything. But instead of sitting with the quiet, you scroll. A quick check of emails turns into memes, then stories, and suddenly that 10 minutes is gone and you're left wondering where the time slipped away. I hate admitting this, but I couldn't sit with myself for 3 minutes without reaching for a distraction. It scared me more than I expected. Like, my brain was screaming, silence in this economy? Absolutely not. And I remember one evening like that, curled up after a long day at the office. Sarah, a friend of mine in her early 30s, juggling marketing deadlines and weekend plans with her partner. She picked up her phone to set a reminder, and 2 hours later, she was deep in someone else's highlight reel, feeling more hollow than before. It's that constant hum of do something, anything, isn't it? The world tells us we're never alone. Podcasts in our ears, feeds in our hands, connections at our fingertips. But deep down, in those stolen moments, a whisper asks, what if being alone, really alone, is exactly what you've been craving? What if putting down the phone isn't about missing out, but about finally tuning into you? Hang with me here, because this isn't just a rant about screen time. It's an invitation to that uncomfortable, beautiful space where real clarity waits. Let's talk about why that scroll feels so irresistible, why the idea of just being still hits like a foreign language. Picture your brain as this clever machine, wired over millennia to seek out novelty, to chase the spark that says survival, reward, repeat. Enter social media, and it's like handing that machine a slot machine on steroids. As researchers at Stanford Medicine have noted, these apps trigger massive dopamine releases, that feel-good chemical flooding your reward pathway, much like a hit from something far more intense. It's not your fault, it's design. One like, one comment, one endless video, and boom, another dose. But here's the quiet ache. That loop keeps you busy. Oh, so busy, but it leaves no room for the deeper questions bubbling under the surface. You see it in the way we fill every gap, don't you? Waiting for coffee, scroll, stuck in traffic, podcast, even brushing your teeth. There's a reel playing. It's what psychologists call the dopamine loop, a cycle where the high of instant gratification makes stillness feel like punishment. This constant stimulation can amp up anxiety, turning what should be rest into restlessness. And for so many of us, women pushing through careers, relationships, that inner voice whispering, keep going, don't stop. It's exhaustion disguised as productivity. I think of my cousin Jamie, 28 and thriving as a freelance writer, but last year she hit a wall. Nights blurred into mornings with her laptop glowing, chasing deadlines and distractions alike. I was afraid, she admitted over coffee one day, voice cracking just a bit. Afraid that if I stopped, I'd have to face how lost I felt. That fear? It's universal. Rooted in what experts describe as avoidance of introspection, the mind's sneaky way of dodging self-doubt, those nagging comparisons that creep in when the noise dies down. Silence used to make me feel like a failure. Like if I stopped, I'd have to face the parts of me I didn't want to meet. It was this breakdown one night. I was alone in my kitchen, phone finally set aside, and the tears came hard. Not because of anything big, just the weight of all the shoulds I'd been carrying. But what if we leaned into it, just a little? If you're nodding along, feeling that pull in your chest, drop a comment below. What's the one thing you reach for first when the quiet sneaks in? Your stories remind us we're in this together. chasing the same elusive peace. Now breathe with me for a second. That fear of boredom, the one that has you grabbing your phone like a lifeline, what if it's not the enemy you think? Let's flip the script, because here's where things get interesting. Boredom isn't this void to fill. It's more like a canvas, blank and waiting for your brush. Studies, like one highlighted in Psychology Today, suggest that moderate boredom actually sparks creativity and problem solving, giving your brain the downtime it craves to connect dots in ways the constant buzz never allows. It's your mind saying, "Hey, I've been running on fumes. Let me recharge." As Dr. Andreas Elpidoro from the University of Louisville has explored in his work on the emotion, boredom pushes us toward meaning, nudging us out of autopilot into lives that feel truly ours. Imagine this. You're on a solo walk in the park, no earbuds, no playlist, just the crunch of leaves underfoot. At first, it's uncomfortable. That itch to check notifications, the stories your brain spins about what you're missing. But then something shifts. Thoughts bubble up unfiltered. The argument with your best friend last week, that dream project you've shelved since your 20s, the quiet ache of wondering if this is all there is. It's raw, yes, but in that space, healing sneaks in. Self-doubt doesn't vanish, but it softens, making room for compassion, the kind that says, "You're human, and that's enough." These unstructured moments help consolidate memories and foster innovative thinking, turning what feels like emptiness into fertile ground for growth. And let's be real for a moment. I've been there, staring at the ceiling after archiving my social apps for a weekend, heart racing, like I'd lost my security blanket. But emerging, I saw patterns in my overthinking, the people-pleasing habits rooted in old fears of not being enough. For women like us, often carrying the emotional load of family, work, that endless to-do list, boredom becomes a radical act of self-care. It's not about doing nothing. It's about allowing everything. When was the last time you sat alone, without reaching for something to fill the silence? If that question stirs something, hold it. That's the shift starting. All right, so you felt the pull, glimpsed that shift? Now what? Let's get practical, because insight without action is just a pretty thought. Start small, like reclaiming one pocket of your day. Create a no-phone zone, that sacred hour after dinner or the first 15 minutes of your morning, where your device lives in another room. No guilt, no exceptions, just you, a cup of tea, and the world outside your window. It's simpler than it sounds, and here's why it works. When we unplug, our nervous system downshifts from that hyper-alert fight or flight mode into rest and digest. As explained in attachment theory's take on secure self-soothing, you're teaching yourself that solitude isn't scary, it's steadying. Take it outside next. Try a silent walk, not the power walk with AirPods, but a meander where you notice the way shadows dance on pavement or how your breath syncs with your steps. One woman I know, Elena, 34, and a mom of two running her own small bakery, shared how these walks became her lifeline during a rough patch in her marriage. "I'd wander the block after the kids were down," she said, eyes softening. "And for the first time in years, my mind wandered too, not to worries, but to what I actually wanted." It's that freedom, isn't it? Your thoughts untethered, drifting toward clarity instead of chaos. A digital detox like this, even weekends only, can reduce cortisol levels and boost emotional intelligence, helping you show up more present for the people and dreams that matter. Build on it with what I call the boredom audit. At day's end, jot 3 things that came up in your quiet moments: a forgotten hobby, a boundary you need to set, or just the simple joy of staring at clouds. And if overthinking crashes the party, gently redirect, no judgment. Whisper to yourself, "This is space for me, not a problem to solve." Over time, these practices weave into habits that combat burnout, that people pleasing pull, turning self doubt into self trust. You're not fixing yourself, you're remembering who you are beneath the noise. If this lands with you, pause right now. What's one tiny unplug you'll try tomorrow? Jot it in the comments. Let's cheer each other on. We've walked this path together. The exhaustion of always on, the whisper of boredom as a friend, the quiet power of reclaiming your space. And now, as the music softens, I want you to carry this. You're not broken for craving silence, you're brave for answering the call. In a culture that equates busyness with worth, choosing to put down your phone is your quiet revolution, a step toward the emotional glow-up that's been waiting all along. Making room for boredom isn't laziness. It's where we wrestle with purpose, emerging with lives stitched from our deepest truths. So here's your challenge, gentle but real. Today, carve out 15 minutes of unfiltered you. No screens, no plans. Just sit or stroll or stare at the sky. Notice what rises, what settles. If it feels awkward, that's okay. Growth lives in the awkward. And if you slip, start again tomorrow. You're building resilience, one breath at a time. Look, I'm still figuring this out too. Some days I cave and scroll and it stings a little. That reminder I'm human and messy. But that's why I'm here, sharing this with you. If this video lightens something in you, even a little, hit that like button and subscribe. We're in this glow up together, one honest moment at a time. And hey, let's make it real. Tell me in the comments, what's one truth boredom might reveal for you? Or better yet, what's the distraction you're ditching this week? Your words could be the nudge someone else needs, including me. Remember, the silence isn't empty. It's where you meet yourself again. And that's the most connected you'll ever feel.